When God makes you wait, He is preparing something greater. Have you ever prayed for something with all your heart, only to be met with silence? You asked God for an answer. You prayed for healing. You prayed for a breakthrough. You prayed for a new opportunity, financial relief, peace in your family, restoration in a relationship, or clear direction for your future. You believed that God heard you. You waited. You continued praying. And then you waited some more. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Sometimes months became years. Meanwhile, it seemed as though everyone around you was moving forward. Doors were opening for other people. Their prayers appeared to be answered. Their dreams were becoming reality. Their families were celebrating new beginnings. But your life seemed to remain in the same place. Slowly, painful questions began to enter your mind. God, have you forgotten me? Did I misunderstand your promise? Have I done something wrong? Am I not faithful enough? Why are you making me wait? Waiting is one of the most difficult experiences in the life of faith because waiting forces us to live between what God has promised and what we can currently see. It is the space between prayer and fulfillment, between planting and harvest, between receiving the dream and seeing the dream become reality. It is a place where faith is tested, patience is stretched, and the heart is revealed. In that space, we often feel confused, tired, disappointed, and even forgotten. But there is a truth you must remember today. When God makes you wait, He is not wasting your time. He is preparing you for something greater. The silence does not mean God is absent. The delay does not always mean God has denied your request. The closed door does not mean your story is over. Sometimes God delays what you want because He is developing what you need. Sometimes He is preparing the opportunity. Sometimes He is preparing the people connected to that opportunity. Sometimes He is protecting you from something you cannot yet see. And sometimes He is preparing you. You may think you are waiting for God to change your circumstances. But God may be using your circumstances to change your heart. You may be praying, Lord, take me to the next level, while God is saying, first, let me build the character you will need when you arrive. You may be praying for success while God is building humility. You may be praying for influence while God is building integrity. You may be praying for abundance while God is teaching you wisdom and stewardship. You may be praying for a relationship while God is healing your identity. You may be praying for a platform while God is teaching you how to remain faithful when no one is watching. You may be praying for a door to open while God is strengthening you so that you will not collapse under the responsibility waiting on the other side. Waiting is not an empty season. Waiting is a training season. It is a hidden classroom where God prepares ordinary people for extraordinary assignments. When you enter a waiting room, you understand that the room is not your final destination. You do not enter a hospital waiting room and assume you will remain there forever. You know that you are waiting for the next step. You are waiting for your name to be called. You are waiting for a door to open. In the same way, the season you are in right now is not necessarily where your story will end. It may simply be the place where God is preparing you for what comes next. Yet when we wait for a long time, the temporary can begin to feel permanent. A difficult season begins to feel like our identity. We stop saying, I am going through a delay, and we begin saying, nothing ever works for me. We stop saying, I am experiencing disappointment, and we begin believing, I will always be disappointed. We stop viewing our situation as one chapter and start treating it as the entire book. But God is still writing. You may be in a chapter that does not make sense yet. But the author has not finished your story. The pain you feel today may become the testimony that gives someone else strength tomorrow. The closed door may be protecting you from something you cannot currently see. The long road may be developing a kind of endurance that a shorter road could never produce. Do not confuse a difficult chapter with a defeated life. Do not confuse God's silence with His abandonment. Do not confuse waiting with being forgotten. God sees you. God knows where you are. God understands what you are carrying. And even when you cannot see movement, He is still working. A seed buried in the ground looks inactive. From the surface, nothing appears to be happening. There is no visible fruit, no branch, no flower, and no sign of life. But beneath the soil, something important is taking place. The seed is opening. Roots are growing. A foundation is forming. The most important work often happens before anything becomes visible. You may feel buried, but perhaps you have been planted. You may feel hidden, but perhaps God is strengthening your roots. You may feel forgotten, but perhaps God is protecting your development from the pressure of premature exposure. The greater the future growth, the deeper the roots must become. God does not only care about how high you rise, He also cares about whether your soul is strong enough to remain standing when the winds come. Consider the story of Joseph. Joseph received a dream from God while he was still young. In that dream, he saw a future in which he would be elevated to a position of influence. The dream was real. The promise was real. But Joseph was not yet ready for the responsibility connected to that promise. Between the dream and its fulfillment came a long season of preparation. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers. He was thrown into a pit. He was sold into slavery. He was taken into a foreign land. He served faithfully in another man's house, only to be falsely accused and sent to prison. Nothing about Joseph's circumstances looked like the fulfillment of God's promise. Imagine how he must have felt. He had received a dream of leadership, but he was living as a prisoner. He had tried to act with integrity, but integrity seemed to bring him suffering. He remained faithful, yet his situation became worse. Perhaps Joseph prayed, "God, why did you show me the dream if my life was going to move in the opposite direction?" Perhaps he wondered whether the dream had been nothing more than an illusion. Perhaps he questioned whether he had misunderstood God. But God was not abandoning Joseph. God was training him. In Potiphar's house, Joseph learned responsibility and administration. In prison, Joseph learned how to lead people who were discouraged and broken. In isolation, he learned dependence on God. Through betrayal, he learned forgiveness. Through serving in small and unnoticed places, he was prepared to manage the resources of an entire nation. The palace required abilities that Joseph did not possess when he first received the dream. Had God taken him directly from his father's house to Pharaoh's palace, Joseph might have received the position without the wisdom, the title without the character, and the authority without the maturity. The delay was not designed to destroy the dream. The delay was designed to prepare the dreamer. Years later, when famine threatened the land, Joseph was ready. He had the wisdom to create a plan. He had the discipline to manage resources. He had the compassion to help people. He had the strength to carry responsibility. And he possessed enough spiritual maturity to forgive the brothers who had betrayed him. Joseph eventually understood that what others had intended for evil, God had used for good. This is what God can do with your waiting season. He can take betrayal and use it to deepen your discernment. He can take rejection and use it to redirect your future. He can take loneliness and use it to strengthen your relationship with Him. He can take disappointment and use it to teach you where your true hope belongs. He can take the years that appear lost and transform them into preparation. Nothing is wasted in the hands of God. Not the tears. Not the disappointment. Not the closed doors. Not the nights when you could not sleep. Not the moments when you felt unseen. Not even the mistakes that you have surrendered to His grace. God can use all of it. Consider David. Before David became king, he cared for sheep. He had been anointed for the throne, but he did not immediately enter the palace as a ruler. After the prophet Samuel anointed him, David returned to the field. That must have been confusing. David had received a powerful confirmation concerning his future. Oil had been poured over his head. A prophet had recognized God's calling on his life. But after the ceremony, David returned to ordinary work. He continued caring for animals in a lonely field. There were no crowds. There was no applause. There were no royal clothes. There was no visible evidence that his life had changed. But the field was not meaningless. In the field, David learned courage. He fought lions and bears when no one was watching. He learned how to protect those placed under his care. He learned patience. He learned responsibility. He learned how to worship God in isolation. He learned to hear God's voice without depending on the approval of people. Later, when David stood before Goliath, the courage he displayed publicly had already been developed privately. The victory that everyone celebrated began in a field that no one noticed. This is how God often works. He builds public strength through private obedience. He develops visible success through invisible discipline. He prepares you in places where no one applauds so that when your moment comes, you will not become dependent on applause. Your hidden season may feel insignificant, but it may be the place where your greatest strength is being formed. Every time you choose faith over fear, you are growing. Every time you forgive someone who hurt you, you are growing. Every time you remain honest when dishonesty would be easier, you are growing. Every time you pray even though you feel nothing, you are growing. Every time you continue serving when no one recognizes your effort, you are growing. Every time you resist the temptation to force your own way, you are growing. Every time you place your disappointment back into God's hands, you are growing. You may not see the progress because spiritual growth is often quiet. But God sees it. The person you are becoming matters just as much as the destination you are trying to reach. Sometimes we become so focused on receiving the promise that we forget God is also interested in transforming the person who will receive it. There are blessings that become burdens when they arrive before we are ready. There are opportunities that can damage us if our character has not been prepared to carry them. A person may pray for more money, but without wisdom, more money may create greater problems. A person may pray for influence, but without humility, influence may produce pride. A person may pray for marriage, but without emotional healing, the relationship may become a place where unhealed wounds hurt two people instead of one. A person may pray for success, but without a strong identity, success may become an addiction to praise and approval. A person may pray for leadership, but without patience and integrity, leadership may expose weaknesses that were never addressed. God loves you too much to give you something that will destroy you. His delay may be protection. You may see a closed door and call it punishment. God may see a dangerous path and call the closed door mercy. You may see an opportunity you missed. God may see a trap you escaped. You may see a relationship that ended. God may see a future that was preserved. You may see a plan that failed. God may see a better plan that requires a different direction. We often judge God's goodness according to what He gives us. But sometimes His goodness is revealed through what He does not allow. A child may become angry when a loving parent refuses to give them something dangerous. The child does not understand the risk. The child only understands the disappointment. In the same way, we sometimes become frustrated with God because we cannot see what He sees. We see the present moment. God sees the entire road. We see the appearance of a person. God sees the heart. We see an attractive opportunity. God sees where it will lead. We see immediate relief. God sees the long-term consequences. Faith means trusting God's vision when our own vision is limited. It means saying, "Lord, I do not understand this delay, but I trust your wisdom." It means believing that God's "not yet" can be just as loving as His "yes." Abraham and Sarah were given a promise that appeared impossible. God promised that Abraham would become the father of many nations. Yet for years, Abraham and Sarah remained without the child through whom the promise would continue. Time passed. Their bodies grew older. From a human perspective, the possibility of fulfillment became smaller with every passing year. At one point, They try to help the promise happen through their own plan. This is one of the greatest temptations during a waiting season. When God seems slow, we often try to force what only He can fulfill. We manipulate circumstances. We lower our standards. We enter relationships God never directed us toward. We accept opportunities that violate our values. We make emotional decisions because we are afraid that the promise will never come. But what we create through impatience often produces pain. Waiting on God does not mean doing nothing. It means refusing to move outside His wisdom. There is a difference between preparation and manipulation. Preparation says, I will become ready for the door God opens. Manipulation says, I will break down any door because I am tired of waiting. Preparation is active faith. Manipulation is fear disguised as action. Abraham and Sarah had to learn that God's promise would not be fulfilled through human striving. When Isaac was finally born, there was no question that the fulfillment had come from God. Sometimes God allows a situation to move beyond your natural ability so that when the breakthrough happens, you will know that it was His hand. He may wait until your resources are limited. He may wait until your personal plan has failed. He may wait until your connections cannot help you. He may wait until you no longer have the strength to take credit for the outcome. Not because He wants to humiliate you, but because He wants to reveal Himself to you. There are moments when God permits human possibility to end so that divine possibility can begin. What appears impossible to you is not difficult for Him. Your age is not a problem for God. Your past is not stronger than His grace. Your limited resources are not greater than His provision. Your lack of connections does not limit His ability to open a door. Your mistakes do not eliminate His ability to redeem your story. God is not searching for perfect circumstances. He is searching for hearts that are willing to trust Him. It is easy to say that we trust God when life is moving according to our schedule. The deeper test comes when God's schedule is different from ours. Waiting reveals whether we love God only for what He gives us or whether we love Him for who He is. It reveals whether our peace comes from our circumstances or from His presence. It reveals whether our faith is rooted in immediate results or in the unchanging character of God. When prayers are answered quickly, we celebrate God's power. When answers are delayed, we learn the value of God's presence. When the path is clear, we follow His direction. When the path is unclear, we learn to hold His hand. There is a kind of intimacy with God that can only be developed in uncertainty. When you do not know what will happen, you learn to seek Him daily. When your own strength is insufficient, you learn to depend on grace. When human encouragement is absent, you learn to receive your identity from God. When you can no longer control the outcome, you learn what surrender truly means. The waiting season removes false foundations. It shows us where we have placed our confidence. Perhaps you thought your security came from your career until your career became uncertain. Perhaps you thought your value came from a relationship until that relationship ended. Perhaps you thought your peace came from having control until life became uncontrollable. Perhaps you believed your future depended on one particular opportunity until that door closed. These moments are painful, but they can also become invitations. God may be inviting you to build your life on something stronger. Not success, not status, not money, not the approval of people, not perfect circumstances, but His presence. Everything in this world can change. God remains faithful. People can leave. God remains. Plans can fail. God remains. Feelings can rise and fall. God remains. A faith that depends entirely on favorable circumstances will collapse when circumstances become difficult. But faith rooted in the character of God can remain steady even in the storm. We often want God to answer immediately because we measure life through urgency. God measures life through purpose. We ask, how quickly can this happen? God asks, what must be formed so that this can fulfill its purpose? We want relief. God also wants transformation. We want the situation to change. God wants us to become stronger, wiser, humbler and more compassionate through the situation. This does not mean that God enjoys your pain. It means that He refuses to let your pain remain meaningless. God's timing is not careless. It is precise. Consider the story of Lazarus. When Jesus heard that Lazarus was sick, He did not immediately travel to Lazarus's home. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had died. Martha and Mary were grieving. They knew Jesus had the power to heal, and they struggled to understand why He had not come sooner. Their words expressed the pain that many believers have felt. Lord, if you had been here, this would not have happened. In other words, Jesus, you are powerful, but you arrived too late. Have you ever felt that way? God, if you had answered earlier, the relationship might have survived. If you had opened the door sooner, I would not have experienced this loss. If you had healed me earlier, I would not have suffered for so long. If you had provided earlier, I would not have reached this crisis. If you had warned me sooner, I might have avoided this pain. But Jesus was not late. He was preparing to reveal something greater than what they had requested. They wanted healing. Jesus revealed resurrection. They wanted Lazarus to be protected from death. Jesus demonstrated that even death was not beyond His authority. Sometimes God does not answer in the way you expected because He is preparing to reveal Himself in a way you have never experienced. You asked for one door. God may be preparing an entirely different future. You asked for the restoration of one plan. God may be leading you toward a new purpose. You asked Him to remove the storm. God may show you how to walk through it with supernatural peace. You asked Him to change another person. God may begin by changing you. You asked for comfort. God may be developing courage. You asked for an easier life. God may be preparing you for a more meaningful life. The answer may look different from your request, but it may be greater than your imagination. So what should you do while you wait? First, remain close to God. Do not allow disappointment to push you away from the one who is sustaining you. Be honest in prayer. God is not threatened by your questions. Tell Him when you are tired. Tell Him when you are confused. Tell Him when you are afraid. Tell Him when you do not understand. Prayer is not pretending that everything is fine. Prayer is bringing your real heart into the presence of a faithful God. You do not have to use perfect words. Sometimes the most honest prayer is simply, Lord, help me. Sometimes it is, God, I still believe, but I am tired. Sometimes it is, Father, I do not understand your plan, but please do not let go of me. God hears the prayer behind your tears. Second, remain faithful with what is already in your hands. Do not become so focused on the future that you neglect today. Joseph served faithfully in the house and in the prison before he served in the palace. David protected sheep before he led a nation. Your current assignment may not be your final assignment, but how you handle it may prepare you for what comes next. Serve where you are. Learn where you are. Grow where you are. Be responsible with what you have. Treat people with kindness. Keep your promises. Develop your skills. Strengthen your habits. The small place may be preparing you for a larger one. The responsibilities you consider ordinary may be developing the discipline needed for your future. Third, allow God to heal what the next season cannot carry. Some people want a new beginning while still holding the wounds of the previous season. But unhealed pain does not automatically disappear when circumstances change. It follows us. A new job does not automatically heal insecurity. A new relationship does not automatically heal rejection. More money does not automatically heal a fear of not having enough. A larger platform does not automatically heal the need for approval. Ask God to reveal resentment, fear, insecurity, pride and unhealthy patterns. The waiting season may be an opportunity for deep healing. Do not only ask, God, when will this end? Also ask, God, what are you teaching me here? What are you removing from my heart? What are you strengthening in me? What must I release before I move forward? What habits must change? What wounds need healing? What truth do I need to believe? Fourth, stop comparing your timeline with the timelines of other people. Comparison makes waiting more painful. You see someone else receiving what you have prayed for, and you wonder why God seems to favor them. But you do not know their full story. You do not know their private battles. You do not know the years of preparation behind their visible moment. You do not know the responsibility connected to what they have received. God is writing a different story in your life. A fruit tree does not become angry because another tree produces fruit in a different season. Each tree has its appointed time. Another person's blessing is not evidence that God has forgotten you. Their story does not cancel yours. Their success does not reduce what God is able to do in your life. Celebrate what God is doing for others while continuing to trust what He is doing in you. Fifth, protect your heart from bitterness. Waiting can make the heart hard if disappointment is not surrendered. Bitterness says, God has treated me unfairly. Faith says, I do not understand, but I still believe that God is good. This does not mean ignoring pain. It means refusing to let pain define your understanding of God. You can grieve and still believe. You can cry and still worship. You can feel disappointed and still remain faithful. Faith is not the absence of emotion. Faith is the decision to keep trusting God in the middle of emotion. There may be days when you feel that no progress is being made. You wake up, and the situation is still the same. The email has not arrived. The financial pressure remains. The medical report has not changed. The person has not returned. The opportunity has not appeared. The dream still feels distant. On those days, remember that visible movement is not the only kind of movement. God may be working in places you cannot see. He may be preparing a conversation. He may be aligning circumstances. He may be closing the wrong door. He may be changing someone's heart. He may be protecting you from a premature decision. He may be developing your patience, wisdom and discernment. You do not need to see every detail of God's work in order to trust that He is working. A passenger on an airplane cannot see the pilot, the instruments or the entire route, yet the passenger trusts that someone is guiding the aircraft toward its destination. In the same way, you may not see the full path, but God is not confused about where He is taking you. He has not lost control. Your life is not drifting beyond His reach. The silence of heaven does not mean inactivity. The teacher is often silent during a test, but the teacher has not left the room. One day, you may look back and understand why the waiting was necessary. You may realize that the relationship you cried over would have limited the person you were becoming. You may realize that the rejection redirected you toward a better calling. You may realize that the slow season gave you time to heal. You may realize that the difficulty developed compassion that later allowed you to help other people. You may realize that the closed door protected your peace. You may realize that God was not keeping something from you. He was keeping you for something. There are blessings that require a stronger version of you. There are doors that require greater wisdom. There are responsibilities that require deeper character. There are people you will be able to help because of what you have survived. Your struggle may become someone else's roadmap. Your testimony may become someone else's reason to keep going. The nights you thought would break you may become the evidence that God carried you. You are not waiting without purpose. You are becoming. You are learning. You are being strengthened. You are being prepared. And when the right moment arrives, you may understand that God's timing was not designed to frustrate you. It was designed to establish you. A building that rises quickly without a strong foundation may collapse. God is not merely interested in giving you a brief moment of success. He wants to build something lasting. He wants your blessing to have roots. He wants your influence to be supported by integrity. He wants your future to be strong enough to survive pressure. That kind of preparation takes time. Many people stop just before the breakthrough. They become tired of praying. They become tired of hoping. They assume that because nothing has happened yet, nothing will ever happen. But not yet is not the same as never. The night may be long, but morning still comes. The winter may appear lifeless, but spring is already being prepared. The seed may remain hidden, but growth has already begun beneath the surface. Do not abandon your faith because the process is taking longer than you expected. You may be closer than you realize. Continue praying. Continue preparing. Continue growing. Continue obeying. Continue believing. Not because every personal desire is guaranteed to be fulfilled exactly as you imagined, but because you can trust God to lead you toward what is ultimately good. Sometimes the greater thing is the answer you requested. Sometimes the greater thing is a different answer. Sometimes it is a new direction. Sometimes it is a healed heart. Sometimes it is a deeper relationship with God. Sometimes it is freedom from something you once thought you needed. Sometimes it is peace even before the circumstances change. The greatest blessing is not always the thing placed in your hands. Sometimes it is the person you become while your hands are empty. Perhaps you are listening to this message during one of the most difficult seasons of your life. You have tried to remain faithful. You have prayed repeatedly. You have encouraged other people while quietly wondering when your own answer will come. You are tired of being strong. You are tired of pretending that the delay does not hurt. You are tired of watching other people move forward while you remain in the same place. Hear this clearly. You are not weak because you are tired. You are human. And God is not disappointed in you. He sees every tear you have cried in private. He knows every question you have been afraid to say aloud. He knows how difficult it has been to continue believing. You do not have to carry this season alone. Bring your weariness to God. Let Him hold what you cannot carry. You may not have enough strength for the entire journey today. You only need enough grace for the next step. Sometimes faith looks powerful and confident. Sometimes faith simply says, God, I am still here. Sometimes worship is a song of celebration. Sometimes worship is a whisper through tears. Sometimes courage means defeating a giant. Sometimes courage means getting out of bed and trusting God for one more day. Your small faith is still faith. Your weak prayer is still heard. Your tears are not invisible. God is near. The same God who was with Joseph in the prison was with him in the palace. The same God who was with David in the field was with him before Goliath. The same God who was with Abraham during the years of waiting was there when Isaac was born. The same Jesus who wept with Martha and Mary also called Lazarus out of the tomb. And the same God who sustained you yesterday will sustain you today. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart that is sometimes tired, confused and discouraged. You know the prayers I have prayed. You know the answers I have been waiting for. You know the doors I hoped would open, the relationships I hoped would heal, the burdens I hoped would be removed and the dreams I hoped would become reality. Lord, sometimes the waiting feels too long. Sometimes your silence feels heavy. Sometimes I look at my circumstances and wonder whether anything is changing. But today, I choose to trust you again. I believe that you have not forgotten me. I believe that you are still working, even when I cannot see it. I believe that your timing is wise and that your heart is good. Forgive me for the moments when impatience has led me toward fear. Forgive me for comparing my life with the lives of other people. Forgive me for trying to force doors that you did not open. Forgive me for allowing disappointment to become bitterness. Cleanse my heart, Lord. Renew my mind. Restore my hope. Give me the strength to remain faithful in this season. Teach me what you want me to learn. Heal what needs to be healed. Remove what cannot enter the next season with me. Develop my character. Strengthen my integrity. Deepen my compassion. Increase my wisdom. Help me become ready for the responsibilities connected to the blessings I desire. Father, when I feel forgotten, remind me that you see me. When I feel alone, remind me that you are near. When I feel afraid, remind me that you are already present in my future. When I feel weak, carry me. When I cannot understand your plan, help me trust your character. Close every door that would lead me away from your purpose. Protect me from opportunities that appear good but are not right. Protect me from relationships that would damage my peace. Protect me from decisions made through desperation. Give me the courage to wait for what comes from you. Lord, I surrender my timeline. I surrender my expectations. I surrender my need to control every outcome. I place my future in your hands. Prepare the right doors. Prepare the right people. Prepare the right opportunities. And above all, prepare me. Let this waiting season produce something beautiful in my life. Let my pain become wisdom. Let my disappointment become discernment. Let my loneliness become intimacy with you. Let my weakness become a testimony of your strength. I pray for every person who is listening and feels tired of waiting. Comfort them. Strengthen them. Remind them that their story is not over. Give them peace during the night. Give them courage in the morning. Give them grace for the next step. Let them know that they are seen, loved and held by you. And when the appointed time comes, let the answer bring glory to your name. Until then, teach us to wait with faith. Teach us to serve with joy. Teach us to worship in uncertainty. Teach us to trust you without needing to understand everything. We believe that you are preparing something greater than what we can currently see. We believe that no tear is wasted. No sincere prayer is unheard. No faithful season is meaningless. We place our hope in you. In Jesus' name, Amen. Your waiting season is not a forgotten season. God is still writing. God is still shaping. God is still preparing. The door may not be open today, but that does not mean there is no door. The answer may not have arrived, but that does not mean your prayer has been ignored. The dream may still feel distant, but that does not mean God has abandoned His purpose for your life. Keep trusting. Keep preparing. Keep walking. When God makes you wait, He is not making you less important. He may be preparing you for something greater. And one day, you may look back at this season and say, "Now I understand. God was not late. He was preparing everything." If this message spoke to your heart, write in the comments, "I trust God's timing." Let those words become your declaration of faith. Share this message with someone who is waiting for an answer. And subscribe to Christ Mindset 2026 for more messages that renew your mind, strengthen your faith and help you walk with God every day. Remember this. The waiting is not empty. The silence is not abandonment. The delay is not the end. God is preparing something greater.